friends, Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning, and today I am finally going to give you a tour of our homeschool room. I don't think I ever gave you one last year, so this will be kind of an update. I updated a lot of things last year, and now I really updated and changed some things around in our schoolroom this year. Now we've already started the school year, so it's not exactly perfectly clean and tidy because we're kind of in the midst of everyday life here in the schoolroom. But I think that that's fine. You're going to see how we use the room and a little bit of our mess. But for the most part, it's picked up. Today's Monday that I'm filming this, so we just had a full day of school, and so it's a little messy, but I think you'll enjoy seeing where we're doing school. And if this is your very first time to my channel, hi, my name is Amanda. I am a former elementary school teacher. I taught primary grade children for over 10 years. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education and a master's degree in school leadership. And now I am a homeschool mom. I have been homeschooling my children for 13-ish years, maybe 12, 13. I think this is our 13th year. I am a mom to 8 boys, so I homeschool all my children, except my oldest son is away at college. He is in his sophomore year this year. I cannot believe that. But I did homeschool him up through high school, and then he did high school at a private Christian school. And then my second oldest son is going to that private Christian school now, and he is a senior in high school. That's crazy. But I did homeschool him until high school as well. And then I'm homeschooling all the rest of the children. So I'm homeschooling 6 of them still today. All right. Are you ready to get into looking at our homeschool room? If you are, let's go. Okay, I'm going to walk in from this corner. You can get into this room 2 ways. There's a doorway, a large open doorway here, and then there's one you can see over there. So you can come in either way, but I'm going to come in this way and just kind of show you this side of the room. Here, I have some cabinets here. This table right here is for my 8th grader and my 6th grader. They do schoolwork here, and they both have Chromebooks that they do work on. One of them left his headphones, you can see right there. And then my son that sits on this side also has headphones. That's his Chromebook. The other one, his Chromebook is gone at the moment. And I have just a little puzzle that they put together that has their multiplication facts on it. So they work here for the most part. And I work at the little table over here, which I will get to, with the little guys, but then that way I can see them as they're working, and I can also get up and help them and all that kind of stuff. So they only do math on the computer. So they do teaching textbooks for math, and then I teach them everything else pretty much. So there's that. So that's where they work. This cabinet here, up at the top, I've got a couple of things. So let me take those down and show you what that is. Okay, I just had these 2 cubby basket type things up on the top of the cabinet. And the reason I keep them up there is just so that my younger kids can't get into them, mess with them, and play with the stuff when we're not doing school. So here I have just a couple of pointers. I love these little stars. They're for following and tracking when the kids are reading. These are more little pretend like magnifying glasses. Well, I guess they are magnifying glasses, but we just pretend. And the kids use them when we read, just to pretend. This is a phone that, the kids can use when they're reading so that they can hear themselves. I've got some puppets here that we like to use for school. I got this one off Amazon a few years ago, and he's just really cute. And sometimes I use him to get the kids motivated. And then we have a little Buc-ee's puppet that we got on a trip to Buc-ee's. And we use him every once in a while too. I've been trying to keep the tag on him to keep him nice, but we do use him. And then I've just got some dry erase markers here, some kid-friendly scissors, kid-friendly glue sticks here. And then these are like little pencil grips. These are the ones that we're not currently using, but I love these little owl pencil grips. But I have the purple and the pink ones in here. They came in a pack, and of course I only have boys, so we haven't been using the purple and pink ones. But we have the blue and the green and all those out that we're actually been using. And I've got some rulers in here for measuring and math, and a couple other things. And then the other basket just has some crayons. So like these are blue crayons. I have them separated by color, orange and so on, because a lot of times in the kids' work, it will say like color this yellow or color this blue or whatever. And so I try to like separate a lot of crayons by color. So that's what I have in here. It's just crayons separated by color. So all of this kind of lives on the top of this shelf. There's also a map up there and just a little cross thing that my kids made. Now this cabinet here is books. So let me open that up for you. Okay, currently here are the books. You can kind of see. And the top shelf I have like phonics readers. In here are all the phonics readers that I've created myself that I sell on my my store. By the way, the link to Fun Hands-On Learning will be in the description box. If you see anything in this video that's from Fun Hands-On Learning, you can go check it out. But yeah, so this has, and it also has a couple of phonics readers from like Abeka and a couple other programs. So this is all just like phonics reader stuff. There's more phonics type readers. Same thing with the next shelf. I have Bob books, which are phonics readers. I have reading books from BJU. These are all phonics readers from Usborne Books. And these are just some other phonics readers that we have from other places. So those two shelves are just basically for teaching reading. Then we come down. This is just storybooks for younger kids on this shelf. And then this is all of our golden books. I love golden books. So we have a million bazillion golden books. And so this is all our golden books. These are just some big books that I couldn't fit, upright. So they're sitting on top there. The bottom shelf is series books. So I have like all of our Bernstein Bears and our Biscuit books and Curious George, stuff like that. And then the very bottom are chapter books for my older kids. And there's a bunch of series and classics down there. There's 2 rows of them, so we've got a lot. And someday, if you want me to do a video where I kind of just show you our classroom library, I can do that. There's another cabinet that has more books, so this is not our entire, classroom library here, but this is what I have in this little cabinet here. Okay, we'll move on from the white cabinet and we'll go down to these 2 cabinets. On top of these 2 cabinets, I have in this basket are crayon boxes for the kids, like their pencils or their everyday crayon boxes. I keep them up there and we just take them down. In this red basket right here are the current reading books that we're using for phonics. So those are all in there. Someday I'll go through that with you guys if you're interested. Here I have all of our flashcard sticks for what we're doing right now. I have some alphabet ones, and then I also have from my Phonics for Reading curriculum, the unit on long vowels. I have those flashcard sticks as well, and I keep them in these little caddies, and it's really nice because you just pull down the caddy and then you've got all your flashcard sticks. So those are there. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say flashcard sticks, check out my channel. I have old videos, which are kind of hard for me to watch because it's hard to see myself back then. But anyway, I have old videos of us using the flashcard sticks, and you can check out my phonics curriculum. I'll leave links below to my website. And I just have this 10 Commandments. One of my kids made the 10 Commandments at church, so that is there, and a little removable globe where you can take the pieces out. And behind the globe are more little handheld flags. And I probably should take those down for when we do the Pledge of Allegiance, but those are kind of up there. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll open up these 2 cabinets and we'll run through them quickly. Okay, the cabinet on the left over here, I keep math, like pretty much all math things, and then the cabinet on the right is all literacy and reading type things. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the math cabinet because we'll kind of go through it a little bit quicker. Top shelf here are all number manipulative. So some kind of number manipulative, whether it's a puzzle or blocks or whatever, something that has a number on it that I can pull down and use when we do activities. And then this cubby to the left is the geometry cubby. So it has anything to do with shapes. It also, you can see right there that says geometry. That is my curriculum, my early learners math curriculum, and that is the unit on geometry. So I just have it in that cubby with all of our little geometry manipulatives. Then this cubby is the time and money cubby. And again, you can see I have a unit on time and money from my early learners math curriculum, and all of the time and money stuff that we might need is in that cubby. And I did go through over the summer and I decided to label everything. So you can see this white basket here is labeled coins and clocks. And so you'll see as we're looking through these cabinets that everything kind of has labels. I love my label maker and I went a little nuts. So, all right, this cubby over here is actually those counting cookies don't belong there. They belong on the top. So I don't know how they got there. Maybe one of my kids put it there. But basically this is kind of a mishmash. I've got that green basket is our weight frog, and he is so cool. We use him, I'll move this. We use him to do measuring weights. So he's pretty cool. He's got numbers, and yeah, you can use him also for addition because you put the weights on there. He's just cool. I think we got him off Amazon a couple years ago. And then these are number puzzles in this little basket that I pulled out. Just wooden number puzzles that you match up. You count and you match up the numbers. I've got some other, I don't know, math things back here. Like, for example, these are equation matchups. And so, yeah, I've got a handful of those kind of things. I think the counting cookies should be at the top because it's numbers. But anyway, I can move that later. This cubby here are dice and dominoes, and that's pretty much what it is. So these are dice, and then there's more dice down here in this basket, and there's dominoes. And these are more different kinds of dice that we can use. Oh, and these are our base 10 blocks in that basket there. So yeah, that kind of stuff is there. This cubby down here are number concept cards, and I also have two things. I have a book about opposites, and then in this little thing here is cards teaching opposites. Okay, and then this cubby is kind of empty. These little smiley face guys right here are like bean bags that you can toss. So they're just sitting there. I don't know. And then these are counting and number and math kind of books for little kids. So I stuck them in this cabinet because this is the math cabinet. This cubby down here to the left is also just a mishmash, like simple addition, measurement, numbers and counting, just different things that we can use to learn with. And our hot dots. I mean, kids love these hot dots over here, and we use those for math. Those are all the math hot dots right there. And then this last cubby is science and history, social studies type items that we have. Just hands-on things that we can use to teach science and social studies and history. So I don't have a whole lot of that kind of thing, but that's it. There's one little cubby for it. Okay, so this side is the literacy cabinet for the most part. Up at the top is where I keep all of our letter manipulatives. So these are all different letters. These are magnetic letters. We have letters that you can use with, like, you can lace them. We have alphabet letter stamps, more magnetic letters, alphabet letter bean bags, alphabet letter blocks, Rubik's Cube, or not Rubik's Cube, I forget what they're called, Snap Cube letters, more puzzle letters, more magnet letters, like just anything you can think of. And over here too, more puzzle letters, stuff like that. So anything that has to do with, it has letters that we can use, they're all on the top. All right, cubby to the left here are all manipulatives that we use for our hands-on activities. And if you've seen any of my videos, and you've seen my hands-on activity videos, you know we have lots of manipulatives we like to use. So, I mean, I've got, you know, connectors and links and snap cubes and erasers. Those two bins on the bottom are erasers. And we've got cars, and we've got just anything you can think of in there, little squares for, you know, manipulatives. Same thing over here. These are all counters and manipulatives that we can use in the cubby over here to the right as well. Buttons and pom-poms and all of these like farm animals and pet counters and dinosaurs and just, yeah. So those two cubbies are manipulatives that we can use. And then the cubby over here to the left, we've got some clips we can use. This here, these books that you see in this little blue book bin all have to do with handwriting and writing. We've got fine motor, all fine motor tools. So fun. Over here is literacy stuff. We've got a bunch of books about like alphabet and words and things like that. And then we've got some speech cubes, and you can see touch and learn picture library for vocabulary. Some more reading type things back there. Let's see, down here we have positional words and vocabulary cards, and oh, the kids love this Boggle type word game that we have over here. And we do have some random Play-Doh right here. I have a lot more Play-Doh actually put away, but I keep a little bit in here if we want to use it as manipulatives, because we do. And then we have our dough alphabet stamps underneath it that we use with it. And then over here we have alphabet robots. Kids have loved those for years. We have alphabet, crabs. They're like little crabs that connect together that you can make words with. These are all of our hot dots over here, but these are the literacy ones. So you guys saw the math ones on the other side. Those ones are the literacy. And down at the bottom, just more activities that we can use for literacy. Building language lotto, sequencing cards, alphabet, word building, category sorting. It's all for vocabulary and speech and reading. And then the last cubby right here is our wooden magnets, and I've got a lot of magnets for like that match phonics sounds and stuff like that. So we have that there. Okay, so hopefully I'm not going too quickly, but if I go through everything in this video will be forever long. So if there's anything you want like to see more, you're interested in, I don't know, hearing me talk about, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I can do a video on it and show you more in depth how we use it and what we do. All right, so that's those two cabinets. Now we're gonna get ready to turn around. Okay, when you turn around from those cabinets, you see this. This is new. I don't think I've shown this on my channel before. And this is two of the large bins that you can find on Amazon. I guess they're not called bins. They're called rolling carts. Okay. These are the two large rolling carts that you can find on Amazon. And they were on sale. And so I got them on sale a while back. And I'm going to show you these and what I keep on here. And then when you turn this way, you can see the little kids table that I usually sit at. And we have another cart over there that we will talk about. This corner is kind of where I live when I'm in this room. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, let's take a look over here. This up on top, I just have, and I know you guys have seen me use these in videos before because I really like these. This is our alphabet abacus and then our regular abacus housed right here. This is just some phonics cards that I found for a good deal this summer. So I picked those up and we haven't used them yet, but they're sitting there. And then this whole bin right here is for, you can you see what it says, speech therapy? And this is where I pull this bin out to do speech therapy with my son who has Down syndrome. So my son, Seth, has Down syndrome, and so I sit down and I do speech therapy with him, and I made a whole like speech therapy binder, and we have just like, you know, things we're working on. We're working on B's and P's right now, and I just have like everything in here that you can kind of imagine to help him with his speech. And so this is my speech binder. If you have a student or a child that needs speech therapy and you want me to kind of show you what I've been doing, let me know in the comments below and I can maybe make a video on that. In this section, these are all teacher manuals for my 6th grader and my 8th grader. So I just have like, you know, my 6th grader spelling teacher manual and his English manual and so on, like my 8th grader's writing and grammar manual. So that's what these are. And then these are more books, like this is my 8th grader, what he's doing for history. So I have that kind of here. So this is all for my older guys. These are kind of learning charts and things for those 2 kids. So that's here. And then I have in the drawers, each of those 2 children have kind of their own drawer. So this is Mark's, he's the 8th grader. So he's just got all his stuff in here. He's got some notebooks and a Bible and stuff like that. And then James, the same thing. He's got, actually I've been making them fill out these assignment sheets. So he has been like marking off, I'll show you the date, and then like just the different things that he's accomplished that day. And then down below I have just some like reading cards. This is from a curriculum that I have, just a good place to store them. I have math flashcards. These I think I bought from a Becca a long time ago. We've had them forever. Some sight word family kind of cards here. And then these drawers here. So my son Mark, he's in 8th grade, so he's green. So he's got these kind of coordinating bins here. And this is like his reading bin, his spelling and writing bin, his, you know, his language bin. So here's his language book. He'll pull it out and so on. And I kind of did the same thing for my 6th grader, has 3 bins. He's got his reading, his spelling and writing, and his language. The reason they don't have a math bin is because for teaching textbooks, they do it on the computer, and they don't have a textbook, so they don't really need a whole bin. They just need a notebook for scratch paper and that kind of thing. So anyways, and then those last drawers down there are kind of empty. I don't know what I'm going to do with them at the moment. It's kind of nice to have that problem, right? And then this side is just kind of where I've been keeping extra workbooks that I might want to make copies out of. So like this drawer has pre-K workbooks, and even though I don't have a preschooler anymore, my youngest is in kindergarten, I still use these because I do have 2 special needs children. So I already talked to you about my son with Down syndrome. I also have a son with autism, and so they can still play around with preschool stuff. Even though they're past it and they're older, they still like kind of playing around with that kind of stuff. So I keep them in there. So these are some more pre-K, and then these are actually kindergarten. Oh wait, yeah, these are pre-K. And then most of these are kindergarten, like workbooks that I can make copies off of. These are my kindergarten alphabet sheets. You can find these. These are from Phonics, my Phonics for Reading curriculum. And these are just like worksheets that go with that curriculum. And so I've got those in here. I use those usually once they get to kindergarten. And yeah, so just there's that. 1st grade workbooks are here that I might want to make copies from, that I've just kept over the years. I have some handwriting workbooks. I haven't really made any copies from these lately, but just random. I have so much, you guys, from being a teacher for, 10 years and then homeschooling now for like 13. I just have stuff upon stuff upon stuff. And then this last one is, I didn't label it yet, but this is some speech workbooks that I have for my, like I said, my son with Down syndrome. And they are also helpful for my son with autism, although when he talks, he's pretty clear. It's just getting him to talk more, and so that's his issue, is just talking more and using, longer sentences and stuff like that. Versus my son with Down syndrome, he'll talk all day, but he's hard to understand because his articulation is not there. So anyway, moving on, shall we go over to my corner? So this is just a little U-shaped desk that I've had for years now. And these dark blue chairs we got when we got the desk, but some of the chairs have broken over the years. I have 3, 4, 5 of them left. So we did buy these 2 little light colored chairs. They're smaller, but they're doing the job, I guess. I kind of wish we could get some more, but anyway, they're doing the job. The kids can sit on them. I got myself a nice little swivel, actually my husband got it for me, a nice little swivel chair, so with a back on it, because before I was sitting on a kid's chair and it was killing me and it was killing my back. And so he's like, well, why didn't you tell me? Let's get you a real chair. So we got this one because it can go up and down and it fits nice at the table. So this is where I tend to sit with the little guys. And then behind me is all the magic, I guess. It's all of our stuff. It's jam-packed. So where do I start? Let's start on the walls. We have our daily calendar that I got from Melissa and Doug years ago, and we love it, and we use it every day. So you can change the magnets on it. So I just take it down and we do it together. And we also use our interactive binders, that I created over the summer for the kids. If you're interested, you can check out, I think I did a video about them, and they're on my website. You can download them. But there's calendars in there, so the kids can do their own calendar while we're putting this one together in the morning. I have my first graders spelling list there and the sight words. I've kind of just been doing the same sight words with all of them each week. So with my first grade, I have 2 in first grade because my son with Down syndrome is doing first grade, and then but he would normally technically be doing 3rd this year, but he's doing first with my first grader, and then my kindergartner I'm just kind of doing the same sight words with him. So it just makes it easier. So anyways, I have their spelling words and sight words right there, and then these are just plastic sleeves that I can change out each week when the words change. And then these shelves here, I have 3 shelves that my husband put in a couple years ago, and I change out the books on here for each season. So now that it's September, I took out some fall books, and I always change the books on these shelves so that I can just grab them and we can read together, and we have all of our seasonal books. So there's some fall books right there for my kindergartners and first graders this year. And I love this is a little golden book, and it has each of the months in it. And so I usually just open it up to the next month and I leave it open like that. I have a little calendar, it says September, and you can take this off. I made it Velcro, and I just change it out for each month. And then up here are some books that I have that I might want to do some reading, like some read alouds with the kids this year. Or I might want my 6th grader to read, or whatever, or my 8th grader or whatever. I was kind of hoping that my 8th grader would read Pilgrim's Progress this year. So I stuck that one there, and yeah. So anyway, there's that. Okay, then over here, this actually wasn't here. I had a map of the world here. No, I had a map of the United States hanging here. And then just today, we've been making words with some of these letters. and I wanted to keep the words that we made. So today we made, we were moving these letters around and making words, and I'm like, no, you know what, I want to keep these because then tomorrow we're going to add a letter to it and see what new words we can make, and each day we're adding a new letter, and then once we get another vowel in there, we'll be able to make even more words. So we're just like practicing sounds and moving the letters around and making words together with my first grade and kindergartners. So I just decided to take the map down since we weren't really using it at the moment, and I threw that up there. So then that way I can just take it down and use it tomorrow. So there's that. I always have a 100 chart on my wall. So there's this, because we do every single day. We count, we do all sorts of things with the 100 chart. I mean, we count by 2s, 5s, 10s. I'll just randomly say to like my son who is just starting kindergarten, like, find number 57, and or I'll point to a number and he has to tell me what it is, and okay, which one's greater, this number or this number, and I'll point to them, or if you add this number and this number, which number do you get, and just stuff like that. So yeah, we do all sorts of things with our 100 chart, and they see patterns with it. It's just great. It's just wonderful practice. We use it every day. Over here I have this little prayer that I've had for a couple of years. I copied it out of an Abeka book, and I've had it for years and love it. And so I just keep it on the wall now. The Pledge of Allegiance right there. And then this is a Abeka word ladder posters that I have hanging here, and they're not words, they're blend letters that I have here. My kids are starting to get past it, but my kindergartner still uses them, and my son with autism still uses them. So we've got that there. Okay, moving on down. Woohoo, we're getting there. Okay, this is just a little cubby that doesn't stay here all the time. I take it back and forth because it's got like my homeschool planner in it here, and then like these are some stickers, and this is my homeschool mom binder that I made this year. So this is like my mom stuff. So I bring this cubby with me to the schoolroom every morning or every day, and then when we're done with school I take it back to my bedroom or my computer area, because I might want to look at my planner, or I might want to look at the binder, or I might want to whatever. So that's just a little cubby that I kind of carry with me everywhere. Over here are this top area is just kind of like teacher manuals and like character development teacher charts that I might use. Anything teacher-y is here, okay? That I might use with my first grade or kindergartners. Like we're doing Handwriting Without Tears this year, so this is like Peter's Handwriting Without Tears. He's doing letters and numbers for me, and so I love Handwriting Without Tears. It's the best handwriting program ever. I also use a lot of the stuff that I've created. I've created a lot of fine motor, fun activities for the kids to do. And they do it like in conjunction with Handwriting Without Tears. But anyways, this is the teacher manual. So for example, I keep that one right here. And then next to it is the one, the book that one of my other kids is in. So there's a teacher manual for that, and so on. So that's what that is, kind of up at the top. The next shelf is actually the fun shelf. This is like things that we use on a daily basis to practice our skills. So I have like phonics, big phonics cards and regular phonics cards, and some magnets, like the magnets that we were using here. I house them in this little container, and then like I have little tiles so that I can just take them out. And when we're doing phonics, I can open this up, and the kids can all have tiles, and they all have letters to use. We have vowel cards and blend cards, and these are my Fluency card from my Phonics for Reading curriculum, which we do very often. So these ones are from the first unit. Sorry, there's a glare. These ones are from the first unit. And then these ones are from the second unit. We just pull them out and we practice. These ones are from the third unit on long vowels. And these are kind of what my first grader's doing right now. So yeah, this is from the unit on R controlled vowels. So yeah, I just kind of pull them out and we'll practice our different sounds. These are great. Wait, actually, this is like a new one. This isn't from Phonics for Reading curriculum. This is from, I made this one to go with my Reading Fun for Pre-K and Kinder curriculum bundle. So there's those as well. And we just go through them like t, b, k, y, a, z. So they say the sounds. They can also practice saying the letters if you're working on like capital and lowercase recognition. U, T, B, C. They can also practice on tell me a word that begins with that letter. So say the sound what begins with umbrella, t, turtle, b, ball, k, cat, and so on. Okay, so yep, we use those. Okay, I also have math cards here and place value cards, and so we have just lots and lots of cards and manipulatives kind of to use while I'm sitting here teaching the kids. The drawers at the bottom, like this drawer is labeled math. These are math workbooks. I know I showed you I had workbooks on the other side. Those ones were kind of labeled by grade level. These are like specific workbooks for math. These are not workbooks we're currently using. They're just like overflow extra stuff I have. This is actually handwriting like workbooks, and like these are some books that I can pull out. We use these for handwriting because you can practice tracing with your finger. So I've got that. Reading workbooks that we're not currently using, but they're in here. Science and history. These are workbooks that we're currently using because I'm doing the first grade science and the first grade history from BJU. And then on the way bottom, I have handwriting stuff. So let me show you this. Okay, so I actually have 3 bins that I have for handwriting, and they all kind of live, 2 of them live underneath this cart, and then 1 of them lives underneath that cart. And basically, I told you we were doing handwriting without tears. So in this one, I have the handwriting without tears mat. And then I have the cards for building the letters, okay, here. And then I have the actual wood pieces for building the letters. And then underneath there, these are from my Hands-On to Learn preschool curriculum. And these are the children trace them. So they're like practicing their tracing and their letters, so it's good for fine motor and writing. So I have those in here. These are magnetic pieces, so just like the wood pieces, they're the same except for they're magnetic that you can put on like a whiteboard or something. Okay, then in this one I have the handwriting without tears chalkboards. So my kids use these chalkboards when they're practicing their letters. I have the little erasers, the handwriting without tears little erasers, and the little pieces of chalk, because you're supposed to use like small pieces and small erasers because then their pincher grasp gets better. I have a little bit of Play-Doh in here because we use that when we are practicing making letters. So I have a little bit of that in here. And then this is the handwriting without tears magnetic board, so you can build the letters on there as well. I went a little crazy and got like everything handwriting without tears. Part of it is because my son with Down syndrome has very needs a lot of help with fine motor. And so I was like, I'm getting everything to help him so he can write, because, and he's gotten much better, but it's been a process. This is one of those little sand fine motor boxes where they can make the letters in the sand so they can feel it. These are all fine motor type activities that I've created for with my different curriculum. So these are the tracing alphabet cards. And then these are the building letter cards. All this stuff is on my website. And then you can go to my website, or you can go to my Teachers Pay Teachers page, and you can click on handwriting, and then most of this stuff will pop up. On the left-hand side, there's different categories. This is my songs that I teach them for writing the numbers. So straight line down, and then you're done. That's the way to make a 1. Draw a candy cane. Now give it a shoe. Look what you did. You made a 2. Around a tree and around a tree. That is how you make a 3. Down, over, down some more. That is how you make a 4. I won't go through all of them, but these are also on my website if you want these little rhymes, and these are so good. All of my kids have been able to learn how to write their letters, and they remember how to write their numbers when we go through these little rhymes. And so if they are writing and they're doing their math and they go, wait, how do you make a 4 again? I'll say, remember, down, over, down some more. That is how you make a 4. And they'll say, oh yeah. So that's always fun. These are some more, this is just another version of these. And there's more to trace. So you can see that. It's the same thing though. These are alphabet letter cards that we trace. These are also on my website. These are more number cards that you can trace, and it has the representation of the number, the value here with the ice cream cones. Those are on my website. This is just a little tracing board. I don't remember where I got it from, but it's got all the letters. Oh, these are on my website. I made these a long time ago, but they are a big hit with everybody. These are our mats that we use with Play-Doh, and we build the letters. So we put the Play-Doh inside here and we build the letters, and it helps with fine motor skills. So there's those. Those are super old, but yeah. Oh, I guess they're not that old. It says 2017. Oh yeah, I guess that is quite a while ago now. It's 2025. My goodness. These ones are from my Hands-On to Learn preschool curriculum. So there's also a lot of fine motor activities in my preschool curriculum, and these are from that. So these are in here as well. And they're just in plastic sleeves. And then these are also from my preschool curriculum. These are the race car mats, where they take a little race car and they race it. And so they practice, making the letter with their race car. So these ones are always a big hit too. I keep the ones out that have been a big hit with my kids that we use. Because, there is, believe it or not, some things that I make in my curriculum that my kids are kind of like, about. It happens, guys. It happens. Oh, and then I forgot, these cards are really cool. They have felt, and so the kids can feel with their finger how to make the letters. I don't remember where I got these, but I've had them for a really long time. So those are in here too. All right, let's move on. Okay, are you still with me? Are you still alive? We are moving on to this last rolling cart. And these, like I told you, are the binders that I created over the summer for each of my 4 younger children. And basically we do the calendar. These are interactive learning binders. We change, the days. There's our 100 chart. And then just has all sorts of other things in it. I'm trying to get it to where there's not a glare. Okay. And so I have a video on these, I believe. So these are just different things, like he was tracing some of his shapes, and yeah. So I just have all sorts of kind of things in here. So there's that. They each have one. So all of these are housed right here. If you're interested in these, you can find them on my website as well. This is my Learn to Read Level Fluency. So this is another curriculum that I wrote. Well, it's kind of an addition to curriculum. So you use this with your regular reading curriculum or your regular phonics curriculum. So I use this with my phonics for reading curriculum and other things and books and, you know, all the things that you would use for literacy. But this is my Learn to Read Level Fluency curriculum, and I'm currently revising it and updating it. It's still usable in its current form, but I revised completely, hold on, level B. So here's level B, and I did a video on this. I completely revised and updated level B, and I'm working on revising the other levels. And then I also have in here Learn to Read Level Fluency Beyond, which is even more Learn to Read Level Fluency. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's plenty of other videos you can go check out on my channel. And then I also have Learn to Read Leveled Proficient, not Learn to Read, Learn Math Leveled Proficiency in here as well. And that is here. And this one I have not updated, but it's still just as valid and very good. This is my math one. Level B is here. So there's that. Okay, so I just put that back right here. These are teaching charts, and so are these two binders. They're just charts to help me teach all sorts of different things. This is my, I decided to put my homeschool stickers in a binder this year. So I made a cute little cover for it. Isn't that cute? And I don't know, I have to make everything cute, right? And then I just been throwing my stickers in plastic sleeves, and it's been a lot easier because they're organized. Before I had them just like all thrown in a big pouch, and now they're organized so I can, you know, get in here and give the kids a sticker very easily. So there's that. Nothing spectacular, just my stickers. Okay, so next to my stickers are just some books and things that we've been reading through. Anyways, let's move on down. All right, so here are the drawers. I have Peter, he is 6 years old. And so here is his drawer. He's doing first grade. There's just some workbooks in here that he's working on. And then next to him, he gets the two green drawers. So here's his like workbooks, and then these two drawers are his hands-on activities that I've shown you guys on my channel so many times, right? Well, now I have a wonderful way to keep them. And I've been keeping them in these drawers, and I labeled this one reading and this one math. So these are all his reading hands-on activities for the first few, you know, first week or two of school. And I change them out probably every 2 to 3 weeks. These are his math ones. Then we go down to Seth. His workbooks are in here, and then his hands-on reading activities are here, and his hands-on math activities are here. Again, all of these activities are from my curriculum. And in fact, this is something new that I just created. I don't know if you guys saw in one of my last videos. It's stuck. Why is it stuck? These are spelling word practice folders. I just love this idea. And you can edit it, the file, and put your own spelling words in there, and then they can practice them. So that's in there. Danny is next. These are just his like workbooks. Here, he's kindergarten. He just turned 5 a couple weeks ago, and he started kindergarten. He's my youngest. He's my baby. And so these are his reading activities, like phonics reading, literacy type activities for the first few weeks. And his math activities are the next one here, for the next, in that drawer. Then we have Paul down here, and he is also doing kindergarten. He is my little one with autism. And so these are his workbooks, and then his activities are here. And he is doing a lot of hands-on like shape type deals. So I've got geometry in there for him. So there's that for him. And then the bottom 2 drawers were just overflow workbooks for my first graders because I couldn't fit everything up here. So there's that. Not that we're doing it all. It's just I have so much that there was an overflow. This down here, that little bin down there is full of stamps. And then here is music. And my kids love to sing. My young ones love to sing. So I have a bunch of just different, I play the music on my Bluetooth, and then, but these are all the words. So I have a bunch of books with all the words to the songs that we sing. So there's that. Okay. Oh, and over here in the corner is just, I'm not even going to go through it. It's just like pocket charts and chalkboards and whiteboards and clipboards, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what that is. Okay, one more thing to go through. Okay, if you come down the hallway in my house, so you can see there's the schoolroom. I just came down this hallway, and I have 2 more cabinets here, and they also house homeschool things, believe it or not. I've collected so much over the years of homeschooling. So let's open these and let's get into this. Okay, so here they are opened. This cabinet here, this is all my curriculum bins of different curriculum that I have written myself over the years. So you can see I've got math. A lot of that's from my early learners math curriculum, but some of it's just from other things. Here's my math to enjoy and learn curriculum in that bin. That is curriculum that's great for end of 1st grade and 2nd grade. And the other curriculum is good for kindergarten or 1st grade. Then I have down here, you know, alphabet and short vowels and some of the units from my Phonics for reading curriculum. Oh, and there's my science curriculum. I have a life science curriculum there. And down here, this is to the left are all units from Phonics for reading. To the right are some units from Phonics for reading and some other just activity, you know, all sight word activities in that top one. You can see what they are. They're all labeled. And then I even have extra like this here is my Bible curriculum. I wrote a Bible curriculum, and so that's all in here, and it is called Bible Truth for Young Ones, or Bible Truth Fun for Young Ones. And then yeah, I have all sorts of, I have activities for birthdays. So when it's a birthday time, I have learning activities in there. And then the top shelf is just literally more workbooks that we're not using currently. Is it crazy or what? But yeah, those are just workbooks that I've accumulated over the years. Some of them are like half full, you know, so they're just like ones we've used, but I didn't want to throw them away because there were still pages in there that maybe I'd pull out later or whatever. I always try to keep using things because I felt like there's always a next kid coming up, right? I'm a mom of 8, so I feel like there's always a kid that can use this. But I probably do need to start going through and just throwing things out or giving away what we're not using. But yeah, there's just some workbooks there that, like I said, some of them are used, and so there's just like a couple pages in them that could still be used. But anyway, so there's that. So all my curriculum, and this is not all my curriculum bins. I actually pared it quite down because I got rid of, like, as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of my preschool stuff in here anymore because I don't have a preschooler anymore. Can you believe it, guys? A lot of you watch my preschool videos, and lots of you have bought my preschool curriculum, and I really hope that it's been helpful for you. I loved using it with my children, but they're all kind of moving on. Even my special needs kids, I mean, my son with autism, he knows all his shapes and his colors and his counting and that kind of stuff. Like, he's just kind of moving on. So, and my 5-year-old, my son just turned 5, my kindergartner, he's pretty smart and with it, and he's starting to read, and so yeah, he's kind of moving on from the preschool stuff too. So anyways, there's that. And then this side, I told you guys I had another place where I have more books. This is it. So this top shelf here is all of our history, social studies books, up to here, and then these are our science. So from here to here is history, And from here to here is science books. And then down here are more science books. And then these right here are all related to the farm or farming. So at farming, I figured that's kind of sciencey. And then these are all science books. And then I keep our seasonal books somewhere else. I actually have bins we have a storage room in this house, and so I have bins in our storage room all labeled for the different seasons, and that's where I keep the seasonal books. So those fall books that you saw on the shelf earlier, they all came out of our seasonal bin, and that's where I keep seasonal activities as well. So I also have bins like this of seasonal curriculum. I've written curriculum and activities that are just specific for fall, winter, spring, summer. All of those learning activities are in their holiday seasonal bins somewhere else, okay? We're not going through that today. But anyway, so yeah, so this is just more sciencey books. These are work trays, and then, so we used to do a lot more of our activities on trays when the kids were younger, especially preschool years. But I still have them here because the kids do still sometimes like to work with trays. So these are all of our trays. And then these are all the dry erase pocket sheets. So I just got a whole bunch more there. These are just more teacher books that I've had over the years that I'm not currently using at the moment. These are book readers that I'm not currently, well, that we might use. Are sitting here. They're Abeka readers. And then on top of here is just fall activities that I had nowhere to put, that I took out of the fall bin. I told you I have seasonal bins. I took the fall stuff out, and so I just put it in that cabinet for now so I can get to it, but I didn't want to set it out. And the two cabinets on the bottom are our books that are related to the Bible. So they're actual Bibles or they're books related to the Bible. Okay, so there you have it. That is our schoolroom set up for 2025-2026, oh my, school year. Here is my little cubby corner. Show it to you again. Here is this corner with all of our drawers. Here's some cabinets. Here are kids' desks, and that's it. Yep. So this is where the six of my kids plus me, so the 7 of us, do school. All right, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, happy learning. Bye.